sad fact of life that the crime rate in rural towns in the UK is going through the roof. My garden yesterday was violated. I've opened my curtains this morning and I've just seen an act of gross vandalism. Depravity is not a strong enough word for it. Look what is in my garden.
This thing is sick.
It's sick.
You bastards. I know who you are. I know where you fish. I blame the price of pinkies and squats. It's obviously got to you. The local tackle dealer's charging too much and this has provoked this hate crime. All I'm going to say is, come on, you gunners. I will get my revenge in this life or the next. Sorry, I've gone to gladiator mode.
I will give them something they've never seen before.
You boys are going to get it soon. Welcome everybody to Tales from the Tackle Shop. This is episode 14. I got it wrong last week.
Oh, did you?
Yep, I said it was episode 14, it was episode 13.
Good job you realised.
And as we've seen from the beginning, are you going to sit right back there?
Yeah. I'm all right.
It's every week, isn't it? 5 years. 5 years.
Is that how long I've had to put with you?
5 years.
Yeah.
5 years, and
Don't
now I have had my garden violated.
It's nothing to do with me, mate.
Couldn't believe it. Went fishing Friday, left your brother in charge,
Yeah.
clearing the garden. Got up Saturday morning, had to go to the gym, pulled the curtains back, threw up everywhere. I was violently ill.
I don't know nothing about it.
I saw this thing in my garden.
How did they know it was your garden?
Well, it's you bastards, that's what it is. It's you
Nothing to do
maggot
with
drowning, tiddler catching.
My brother
Yes.
said there was a bloke just went, hello, mate. Can I just leave this here, mate?
What, an old git with a brolly?
Yeah. My brother said, who the hell was that? I said, I know who it was.
Does he sell jewellery in North London?
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, and go, shalom.
Yeah.
So, Sid, you are suspect number one. However, there is a second suspect.
Well,
The night before,
I mean, the fact that Richard Chave was in the Cambridgeshire, Fenland area.
mate, we took him out for curry
I know.
and beers, which he wasn't drinking.
No.
You're doing it again.
No, I'm not.
You keep kicking it.
It's your ghost, mate.
So we took Chave out, and this is how he pays me. By planting that monstrosity. So he's suspect number two.
Mm.
Adrian Stokes.
No.
Was he in the county?
No, he only, it's a bit of a mission from Raunds to here,
Ugh.
All about 40-minute journey, that is.
Well, Adrian Stokes, he's suspect number three.
Who else?
Matt Page,
Who else?
he's on the hit list.
John Taylor.
Oh, yes. Now then, this one came out of the woodwork, wasn't it? That was like a typical Spurs fan. They don't have their hold their hands up and go, yeah, I support that crap team. They keep it quiet.
They've been waiting.
They've been waiting. John Taylor, suspect number 5. Because Matt Page is suspect number 4. The list goes on. But we're whittling them down. And you promised you had nothing to do with it?
No, nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's okay. We'll just wait for the North London derby. Anyway,
When is that?
I don't know. I've given up, really.
Might be back to how it used to be, 3rd and 4th spot or 4th and 5th spot at this rate, eh?
We're playing for the Europa League, aren't we?
Yeah.
I do. One thing, though, isn't it funny?
Yeah, it's all about, it's banter, isn't it?
It is funny. And
Mr. Watling, he's another Spurs fan.
well, it's got big enough nose.
Yeah.
All these kids have got big noses. Air's free, isn't it? They make the most of it. No, it's good fun. And, I'm just... I will get my revenge. There's a few March Opens coming up, aren't there?
There is, yeah.
Yeah. Cars are unattended.
Well, Sid don't drive,
There
so...
could be a few Arsenal flags tied to a few vehicles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could
Scarves, hats, memorabilia of all our league wins.
be. Yeah. Might be a new T-shirt. You never know, do you? If they get chip shopped.
In fact, Sid did send you a picture, didn't he?
Yeah.
Should we stick it in here?
Yeah.
This is funny, even though it makes me violently ill. We'll stick it in about now. So look at this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Am I getting my revenge on me? Payback?
To be fair, you have given it out.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah,
You have to do
you
this
have given
more.
it out.
Yeah, but it's been good fun.
Yeah.
Well, on a different note, we must be famous
No.
because we've had our first hate comment. So, compared to last week, right? We're trying to think of relevant content, and because of the way the weather's been, it gets a little bit difficult because it's a bit limiting, isn't it? So we do the flat.
There's only so many bits you can talk about the old Nina, you know.
And there's a bloke called. If someone knows someone called John Seaborn, I think his name is.
Right.
Tell him to PM me, and we'll have a little chat between ourselves to sort this out. Because
That's if we don't fall asleep.
the first bit was just bizarre. Second bit was just bloody weird. He's a weirdo. I'm going to put the comment in about here so everyone can see it. Now, he's calling us charmless.
Yeah.
Now, I know you can be a bit grumpy,
Yeah.
but I do take exception about being called charmless. If one thing, I do think I'm quite light-hearted and do take the piss out of everyone in a bit of banter. So, John, I'm not charmless. Alex is a bit grumpy, but, you know...
You might be a Spurs fan, you don't know him.
He's probably an Everton fan or something. I don't know. But the second bit is just weird, and you can't be putting that, mate. That is just weird. So if anyone knows him, which they won't do, because obviously he had a bad month, and he felt the need to put something like that.
Yeah.
But if we get any more, we're going to hold them back, and then at the end of the season, we'll take the piss out of everybody that thinks they can send a bit of hate messages. But apparently, when you get famous, this is what happens.
Is that what you've told yourself to make you feel better?
No, I just think obviously there's somebody out there, the green-eyed monster. They can't handle this, the roaring success of the podcast.
The information overload.
It must be so. Yeah, they've got issues, but there we go. But yeah, so that's really the news. Fishing wise, which we'll get onto in a minute, it's been another challenging week, hasn't it?
Yeah, been cold, isn't it? And I think this week ahead is going to be even more challenging.
We were going to go and film, weren't we? And I think we decided to knock it back because it's just going to be...
Well, one, it could be frozen, and two...
We could be frozen.
It's too cold for Andy, and his cameras can't take the cold.
To be honest with you, mate, I don't want to be sitting there filming you, freezing me tits off, going...
If you're feeling a bit cold, you could, wear that Spurs flag. That'll keep you a bit warm.
I've burnt it. Don't worry about that. That's gone. Right. That's been disposed of. I got the... I phoned at the council.
Did you?
Yeah, I said, look, I got a problem. I said, I've got some sort of toxic waste in the garden. Explained what it was. And they went, Mr. Page, we'll come around immediately and get rid of it. I had two guys in hazmat suits.
Yeah.
And a big litter picker.
Yeah.
And they even started to melt the litter picker.
Yeah.
Yeah, they dropped it in some container, sort of nuclear-proof stuff, and off it went. But, that obviously was an Arsenal sympathiser on the phone and got it sorted. I've got to tell you one thing. I went fishing last Friday. Yeah. And something happened to me that I have never heard of or even ever seen in my life. Right, I'm going to show you. I'm going to put the clip in here because it's really funny.
Right.
Mate, I can't hear a thing with that hood up.
I said, I've noticed it on Creek Space more as well, like it's like a bit shad freaking sometimes slowly.
Whoa! No. What are the odds of that happening?
Well, you got it on video.
What are the odds of that happening?
that is brutal.
What are the odds of that happening? Oh,
That is wicked.
I have never seen that before.
You get your leader though.
Yeah, it snapped me off. So that swan went through a braid and snapped me off from that fish. What are the odds of that happening?
If it weren't on camera, no one would believe you.
I mean, that sniper swan came flying along the river, and that was either a really big perch or a small pike. I didn't even see it or hear it because I had my hood up.
Yeah, what was it, 4-ounce perch?
Oh, but have you ever seen anything like that before?
I've seen one go through someone's pole, yeah, straight through it.
What, flying?
Yeah, I can't remember where I was, but I've definitely seen it just go.
Did it smash it?
Oh yeah, obliterated it. Talking of that, Louis van Gaal, every time he sees a goose now, he like goes in with himself. He goes into shock mode. He's mentally scarred.
What did the goose do?
What did the geese do? Well, it was fishing at March a couple of years ago, and obviously the geese in March are more famous than what anyone else.
Particularly George.
Particularly George.
Yeah.
And he's fishing away, and they were at the top of the bank just minding their own business, and obviously a dog was off the lead, and it flew round and spooked the geese, and they just, well, there's 6 or 7 of them just went through every single one of his top kits, pole, everything, just smashed it to smithereens.
No.
So every time poor old Robert Hubbard sees a goose or a goose, and he's shaking, mentally scarred.
I've got 3 stories from when I was a kid fishing with Blacksmith's Arms, and they all happened virtually in successive weeks. On the Coronation Channel,
Yeah.
and Reg Sutterby was fishing with a feeder, and I'm next to him. And because we had the old brollies, so you could see what was going on. Because obviously the wind's coming one way, so he had it pegged down. So I'm talking to him, he's cast out, and I can see Reg, he's like looking at his rod going, he's got a feeder on, he's going, bloody hell's this? What's going on? And his tips just, what he's done, he's cast out and he's hit a seagull. So the seagull's got his feeder. Well, you know how wide the Coronation Channel is? A long way out. So he's got to get the seagull in. And obviously, net it with his net. Put it on, that's funny. So he managed to get that off. Then the following week, we're on the 16-foot, and there used to be a bloke who used to own the chippy in Friday Bridge. There's a dad and son. I'll think of their names in a minute. It's next to the dad. He's a big bloke. His car, 16 foot's really steep bank. His cast with his waggler, hooked the car.
No.
Yeah, boing. And for some reason, I was next to him the following week. He's cast again, hooked himself in the ear. Remember those old gold hooks, hooked to nylon? There was a real. You could buy these packets of hooks that tied to nylon.
Ashima.
He got it right in the side of his ear, like buried, so you could just see the shank. Absolutely unbelievable. Those 3 things, there probably were a couple of weeks between, but as now I remember the story, it was like, what are the odds of all that happening? But it's bloody swan, I couldn't believe it. I was absolutely gutted because it was a hard afternoon's fishing, but it was in the perfect place to completely screw me. And I had no time to drop the rod because I was playing the fish. I literally saw it there. It was like, no!
Clonk.
Unbelievable. But yeah.
Was the swan all right, though?
Didn't even stop. Didn't break its stride pattern or anything. No, just kept going. I'm amazed I didn't cut it in half with that braid. Well, it's the light braid. Guys, if you've got any funny stories, just leave them in the comments because I bet there's some very funny things that happen.
Oh, I can imagine, yeah.
People falling in.
Oh, yeah, all the time. That's
rolling
just
down the
part of
bank.
Parcel, yeah.
Did your dad roll down the bank recently?
Every time he goes fishing, I think.
Pricey must roll down the bank.
Yeah.
He's been very quiet.
Who, John? Dr. Whip? Yeah.
Dr. Whip?
Yeah, Dr. Whip.
Is that what we call him?
Yeah.
Is that, it's got sexual innuendo or just...
No, he's, well, he is a doctor because he is like a doctor of chemistry or whatever. And he likes whip fishing, so we call him Dr. Whip.
Yeah, good job you mentioned
Along
the
with
fishing on
many other names.
You know what, I like the Wee John one.
Yeah, Wee John,
Wee John.
Bagpuss, Louis, King Louis. There's quite a few. Yeah.
Right, now we've got a specialist topic this week because actually, I phoned Alex this morning and went, what the bloody hell are we going to talk about now because of the weather? And you've come up with a blinder.
Yeah. Great, isn't it?
Well, no, it is because I've been fishing the resis the last couple of weeks and on a boat in this weather is not for the faint, not for Spurs fans, it's not for the faint-hearted.
No.
And you have to have pretty specialised clothing.
Yeah. And it's got so much better over the last 3 or 4 years as well. That's the thing, isn't it?
I used to go out looking like
the
Mitchell
subject
man.
we're talking about is keeping warm and what to wear.
Winter clothing.
Winter, yeah.
Yes, I forgot to add that bit, yeah. That's a bit obvious. But I remember we used to have really thick, all-in-one, like, fleece things. But like quilted.
The old teddy bear suits.
Yeah, teddy bear suits. Yeah. And then you'd have an all-in-one.
Used to go for a wildie and shit in the hood. Them ones.
If you walked anywhere, you'd be sweating your tits off, wouldn't you? And you get to where you're going, and then within an hour, you'd be freezing because all the sweat had got really cold. They were useless.
Yeah.
But they looked, because you put them on inside, and you go, oh, these are going to be warm.
Yeah.
And then when you actually used them, yeah. But yeah, if you had to go...
onesies, the original onesies.
You had to go to the toilet, you're in all sorts of trouble. So, and then, obviously, then you adapt some type of system that's going to keep you warm. It's normally like... And you can't move.
Yeah.
But now, there's so much out there that it's just... I go out now and on the boats, I have dry suit trousers with boots over the top.
Yeah.
My bottom half never gets cold. It's more the top off with the wind getting around your neck and your hands. But because I've got so many layers on little quilty jackets on, I stay actually functioning well enough to last the whole day. But you guys, is there a certain way of doing it for you guys, or how do you go about it?
There is. I mean, the biggest thing for me is if you're on a venue where you got to push all your gear, like say you're all Barnett or certain sections of March, you see them in the car park and they're putting all their layers on, and then they walk to the peg and they're like sweating like, God, I'm so hot, I'm so hot, I'm so hot. And they get set up, and then what happens is the sweat in it works the opposite way. They get cold really quick. And what I do is I walk to my peg in as sensible as possible, I suppose is the way to put it.
So you start off a bit cold and you warm up.
Yeah, you warm up because you're walking.
Yeah.
And then it's no good, like, as soon as you get to your peg, putting it all on because you're hot. Almost like let yourself cool down and then just add a bit by bit as I'm setting up, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Then literally 5 minutes before the match, then I'm ready for action, if you know what I mean. I've got my wind stopper on and this, and hood goes up, hat over the top of my normal hat, and I have a routine. And I suppose a lot of match hangers do as well. I have a disgorge around my neck that goes on literally 2 minutes before the match starts. And off I go. And obviously, the key thing is have more layers behind you if you need it.
Yeah.
You can always take them off. But
I remember I went to Sweden 2 years ago, and it's in October, and it's getting cold then, like it is now then.
Yeah.
And one of the lads, Andreas, what's his name? I can't remember his name. He had battery-operated socks. Battery-heated socks.
Yeah.
So that's the first time I've really come across them. I said, are they any good? He goes, yeah, they actually work really well.
Yeah.
So this is now
Yeah,
coming to the
it
UK.
is. I mean, for a start, the first sort of thing we had obviously was Gore-Tex. Gore-Tex is fantastic at keeping the wind and the rain out and the water out. It's not warm, so you have to layer up. So a lot of anglers you'll see on the bank, people say 500 quid, 600 quid for a set of Gore-Tex. But it's worth its weight in gold. Lots of manufacturers are doing brilliant suits for sort of 200 quid, 250 quid, or even like 150 quid for a proper thermal, heavy-duty winter suit, which they're brilliant. But for all year round, you wear your bin brace every time you go fishing, and, you can't beat Gore-Tex, really. So that, for me, is a big thing. Mm-hmm. Gore-Tex, if you can afford it, definitely go for it.
Do you find also you have to replace your waterproofs every year, or you might get 2 years out of them?
You'll get more than that with Gore-Tex.
Do you reckon?
Yeah. The biggest thing with Gore-Tex is, I think like a lot of anglers in the summer or springtime will use luncheon meat, and the fat in the luncheon meat, like on your hands and stuff, can sometimes cause a bit of issue with the gore. But
Not
other
the
than
tex, just the gore.
Just the gore, yeah. And then see, the sensible customers will know what I'm talking about. Not like you pike anglers, do you know what I mean?
Just the gore.
Yeah. I think that, well, I don't know too much about it, but I'm pretty sure it's the gore that it affects. And and sometimes they have a few issues with that. But, if you have problems with stitching
Colgate Keith, I bet he doesn't wear gore.
Yeah.
His luncheon meat will get everywhere.
Yeah, well, them sort of anglers, they step into their bin brace, don't they? It's like caked in cat meat slime. Yeah, it's lovely. But obviously this time of year, long johns, got to wear a pair of long johns.
On the boat, I wear thermal bombs. I've got a pair of tracksuit bombs that are tight. They go over the top. Then a pair of thick trousers, and over the top of that are my dry suit trousers.
Yeah.
It's just the dry suit trousers aren't warm, but they keep everything inside the same temperature as it was.
Yeah.
As long as you've got enough layers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not too thick.
No, you want that. For me, layering up is definitely better than anything. But normally long johns, socks. Then I wear the dye the windstopper trousers.
Have
I
you
wear
got
them for
any
work.
with you?
No, I normally got them on, to be fair, but I've got my shorts on because
It's so hot.
so
isn't it?
hot in Andy's house. That's why my face is so red all the time when I'm falling asleep.
I'm delicate, mate. I don't get cold.
And
It's
so
my
then I
age,
wear
you've got to look
them.
after yourself.
Yeah. And then obviously sealskin socks have been around for a little while now. Completely waterproof. They're brilliant. All the rage now is these heated socks. I actually got a pair for Christmas. So I haven't tried them yet. But
I'd have thought yesterday would have been the day.
I think my sort of what I've got in my head is because obviously we use a lot of waders and waders can be quite cold. My plan is to wear those when I've got to put waders on.
Where's the battery?
It's sort of down the side. Do you see what I mean? So if you won't be able to wear them with your, like your hot foot boots or your Ski-Tex boots that have got the massive lining in, because I don't think you'll get it in the boot as well. Whereas with waders, you've got a bit more flexibility.
Yeah.
Obviously, them Vast do the wader liners as well. Decent thick pair of socks.
We did several videos.
Yeah. So wear them. They go over the top. Nice set. Preston do a decent set of thermal socks. Put them on. Then your sealskins. Obviously, if I'm not wearing the heated socks. And then I have a base layer, which loads up. You can get all different sorts.
Yeah.
Can't you?
Yeah.
I think Zero Fit seems to be quite popular with a lot of people. I would do one, base layers. There's loads of them about. But I think to me it needs to be quite thin. Don't want to be too thick. And then I've got one of these. I treated myself just for Christmas. That's the old Preston Thermotech gilets.
A gilet.
Gilet, yeah. So
A gilet.
I spoke to a few people and, you see a lot of the people wearing the gilet on the outside of their clothing.
Why?
Well, all the pictures show that, because I think people do it. But to me, I wear a base layer and then a thin T-shirt. Then I wear that because you want it closer to your body, if you know
Where's the
what I mean.
battery?
The battery's here, look.
Oh.
The battery's there.
Earlier, I knew it had a battery.
Obviously, there's loads of other... You've got your pocket there where it clips in like so. Like that. That's on. I mean, these batteries, Preston do their own. You can get from PC World, any of them batteries. That just goes in.
I'm going to put it on. Let me try it out.
That's on now, look. Got your light, so you've got different settings of what heat you want it on. Got to zip it up, I think.
Would Richard Chave buy one of these?
No, it's too tight for that.
Well, he doesn't recharge the battery. That's what I was worried about. The excess electricity might do him in.
Yeah, so that's on full. Next one down, and that goes off. Back up to full power. So I used that battery all day yesterday, and that's still working.
Let's keep it on 10 minutes and see how warm we get.
Yeah, it's surprising. It's surprising.
So is it? How does it work?
So it basically they've got like the wires and stuff in the back there, and it just, it does definitely work, definitely. They're not cheap, you can get some Amazon copies and different bits and bobs, but they seem to last a while then. So yeah, I've been using that lately, and then what I do then is I put my windstopper on. Love my soft shell windstopper. I could live in that. It's thick. It's just brilliant, really good. And then if it's cold, then I put my other windstopper gilet over that. And then if it gets really cold, then I put my Gore-Tex jacket over that.
Do you know what? There's two questions I need to ask you. I'm going to go in reverse order.
Yeah.
I was going to start at the bottom, but start at the top. So all these garments are great. The one thing I struggle with is if they got hoods and it's raining.
Yeah.
Because the hoods get wet.
Yeah.
And then the cold gets in, doesn't it? Because you get obviously wet. So I've got one fleece that's got no hood, and that's a lifesaver. Another one's got a hood. So this is one thing you've got to think about. If you have 2 or 3 hoods, then your waterproof hood doesn't necessarily cover your other hoods. And if they get wet, you're screwed because the water just wicks down, doesn't it? Yeah. And also, down your sleeves if you're not careful.
That's it. Yeah. That's. I mean, they're quite expensive. This winter clothing, but it does the job.
Yeah.
It's designed for a reason. The soft shell jacket is awesome. Even like your hook don't get caught in it.
Is it the Daiwa?
Daiwa one, yeah.
Daiwa.
The proper Daiwa windstopper. So yeah, that's what I do. And the other thing is obviously hoods. I mean, these are decent hoods on these. Ones you can tighten up. But I like a cap so you can see, and then I just put like these, especially designed to go over a hat with a peak, because there's not many like thermal.
No, there's not
Caps
no.
with a peak. So that goes over the top, keeps my ears warm. As long as your head's
that
warm.
one?
That's a Feederland one. I also have a Daiwa one, which is like a beanie, which is really big and soft, and that sort of goes down. You look a bit weird, but don't all fishermen look special.
I can feel
Can you feel it?
Yeah.
It's
This
surprising.
is cozy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Nick doesn't go to sleep in it tonight.
Your hot water bottle. Yeah. So yeah,
What else
obviously.
you got something else down there?
Oh yeah. So these are the Celsius joggers. So Preston do these.
Let's have a look.
Matrix do some as well. They do a Sherpa jogger. So they're your normal joggers, but they've got this really warm material inside.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to get that wet, do you?
No. No, you'll be sinking with that, wouldn't you?
So if you had a base layer under that, then these.
Yeah. So if you have your long johns on, then them. They're brilliant.
Cool. They're thick, aren't
Yeah, really thick. Yeah. So when someone walks past you when you're fishing, they go, "Oh, it's cold," and you sat there with all this gear on. It ain't cold, is it?
No.
The biggest thing is your hands, back of my hands, if the wind.
Well, I've got three questions. So the first one was the hood. The second, so I've been on a boat with another guy the last two times, and the first time he stood up right middle of the day,
Yeah.
and the boat's shaking, like I go, "What's up with you?" He goes, "I don't know. I've just got really cold," and he got me a bit sensible about this.
Yeah.
And I looked at him, and he was just like. So I said, "Right, we're going in." Went to the calf stopped for an hour.
Yeah.
He was frozen solid. So second time, before we went, he phoned me and says, "I can't get that cold again." So we're talking through what he was wearing. He only had a pair of trousers and these over trousers on his legs.
Right.
And it obviously got cold from down
Bottom
there.
of your back and that.
Yeah. So, okay, what I was going to ask you 15 minutes ago, because it was in my head, what do you find as the best footwear for walking, fishing at the minute? Because I've tried so many different things. Because remember the old moon boots?
Yeah.
They were great when you're stationary. As
Yeah.
soon as you're walking there, the lining would rub
Yeah.
and you get too hot.
Yeah. So this time of year, I have a pair of Sundridge Hotfoot boots, which are your Ski Techs, your boot liners. They're lightweight. I mean, the original Ski Techs. Everyone was walking around like a speedway rider, weren't they, dragging their feet along?
Or an astronaut on the moon or something.
That's it. Yeah. And the other thing is, when you got them on your foot plate, your knees are up high because you've got to tread her that much, haven't you?
Yeah, platforms.
Yeah. So you need to put another layer on your box. For me, that's what I wear all winter, unless I've got to wear a pair of waders.
Right, yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much what I'll live in a pair of those. Probably because I fish more natural venues. You're in and out of the water. Whereas if you did commercials, you could get away with. There's a host of like thermal proper boots. There's some nice fast ones. I think they're called thermo boots. They're really warm and comfortable. They're like Velcro wrap round. They look really warm. Obviously, normal Sundridge. There's loads and loads, isn't there? Loads. All manufacturers do some sort of boot.
They've got so much better than they were 20 years ago.
Yeah, and they're so much lighter as well. Matrix do I think it's about 60 odd quid for a thermal boot, nice and light, removable liners. Jobs are good.
Yeah. That's interesting to know, because on a boat it's completely different. So if it's going to be wet, you got to go wellies, because the boat literally just fills up with water.
Yeah.
But I wear walking boots most of the time.
Yeah.
Some really good, like Gore-Tex walking boots. When it's like really cold, like I said, I've got these wading boots that fit over my dry suit trousers. Mm-hmm. So warm. Yeah. I wear one pair of socks. And I've got some really thick Vision socks. They're like made for minus 10 degrees.
Yeah.
Because they're really thick. Everything's just like, I don't even get cold. but I'm not walking anywhere, and that's the godsend. I'm literally just...
Yeah.
So even when I load my boat, get my stuff down to the jetty, I'm still wearing my walking boots, and I get more my clobber on, and I've only got to walk a small way. I couldn't walk too far in all this because I get too hot.
No.
And that's a consideration you guys have to have when you're getting your stuff down to the pegs.
The other thing I see is people, they have the bin braces, and then they have like the waterproof jacket with over the top, if you know what I mean, which is all well and good if it doesn't rain and you're going to put a coat on. Because the amount of people you see there, you know, when they're sat there fishing, you're catching, and because you're in the zone, it starts raining, and you think, oh, I'll be all right. And then after the match, it's like drained into their bin brace.
Well, they have their bib brace over their rain jacket.
So they've say they have a soft shell, which is semi-waterproof.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. And then they put the bin brace on. What you've got to do then, if it rains, you've got to put your jacket on, haven't you? So to me, why don't you just put your jacket on over your bin brace? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So some people do.
I went on a chalk stream graining fishing a few weeks ago, and had those Daiwa waders on.
Yeah.
And I got a little short Vision wading jacket. It's a bit longer than a wading jacket, but it's not too long. And the guy, I was with two people. One of them was a guy. He said, "Well, I can tell you don't deserve very often the way you put your coat on." I went, "Mate," because they all they tuck it into their waders. They do it the reverse. They put their... He said, "Well," and I said, "Mate, if it rains, you're just going to get absolutely obliterated, aren't you? It's going to run inside your waders."
Yeah. That's what they do.
Yeah. God knows why.
Sailor anglers, eh?
Yeah, well, they're fly anglers, mate. They're a different breed, aren't they? Well, perhaps they don't go out when it's raining, I don't know. No. But, mate, this
It's hot, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, I've turned it off.
Yeah.
I couldn't go through the levels.
No.
I need some training. This is hot.
Yeah. Surprising, isn't it?
And it lasted all the time.
Yeah. I had it on for 5 hours yesterday. Well, more than that, because I packed up and weighed in and done all that.
Cool.
You like that, don't you?
I do. Yeah. I might have to get one of these. Do you know anywhere that stocks them?
Well, those particular ones, we've only got a few left and then the next lot's due in March. That's how popular they've been.
Oh, that's good, isn't it?
We've got a few that they do, they're the gilets, and then they do a soft shell as well.
Because this would be great as an undergarment, and you'd want to get it close to your body, but
that's
not...
it, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Right, actually, considering we were struggling for content, I think that was quite good, because give people an idea.
I mean, some people wear the old, put Vaseline on the back of their hands as well, don't they, to try and keep warm.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
Gloves.
Ugh.
I know, I cannot get the right gloves.
I don't think there is one. It's a bit like trying to fish with a brolly up. It's one of them you just got to...
So when you're lure fishing,
suck it up.
The gloves are useless. But when you're motoring around, I have these, they go on and off. And if they get wet, then it's even worse, because then you're putting your hands back into wet stuff, and the wet starts to wick.
We sell quite a few different gloves and bits, but it depends on what style of fishing you're doing. But for me, I've tried the fingerless ones, and what happens is you end up you can't feel the end of your fingers, and they're the bits you need the most when you're fishing. Do you know what I mean? Like to unhook and stuff like that. I think if you were lure fishing, you'd probably get away with it, but
You've got no touch.
No.
I know Guy Eldridge wears latex gloves when he's fly fishing in the winter.
That's it.
Well, that's quite a good idea.
Yeah.
Because that does keep that water off.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they wear latex gloves, or they put Vaseline on the back of their hands.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some listeners that have their own routines of what they do.
Yeah, I was going to say, if anyone's got any good ideas, let us know. Right, that was a good one. Well done, Al. I like that. I like this. This is good. This is really warm. Right.
All you need now is your thermal socks.
These Vision ones are brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is, the only one thing I worry about is, what if you forget to charge the batteries up? You've got to remember all these things. I don't have enough batteries to charge up on what I'm taking, let alone for my clothing.
I'm sure you've got enough batteries kicking about that probably fit that.
I look at that all over there.
Yeah, there is actually.
Like
I can see quite a few.
Battery graveyard. Right, shall we get on to the match results?
Yeah.
I don't know how many we've got.
Well, there isn't many. It's like a lot of the matches seem to dwindle away this time of year, don't they?
The weather's killed it as well.
Well, yeah, there is that, but I think a lot of like Tid, Hull Beach, they proper have a winter break, don't they?
Yeah, yeah. Chris Hodson, top man.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris. Has messaged me. He knows. It's virtually the same time every week.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Derek Skinner messaged as well. So, Derek, thank you for that. Right, so this is from Chris. They had the penultimate Sunday was the penultimate round of the Spilsby AA Winter League on the River Steeping. 20 anglers took part, which is a good turnout.
Yeah.
With the river back down to a good level and colour, perfect conditions, hopes were high for a good match. Plenty of bites again from small fish, but the bites tailed off for most, and the last couple of hours being a struggle, which is the opposite to what a lot of you guys found.
What's that?
Will's more on the bypass.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think that's it. They think that you don't. It hasn't been fished for a while, the bypass, and I think it takes a while for a fish to work out what's going on. Yeah.
MPEGs dominated the game, taking the top 2 places. So first on peg 24 was Dave Ashmore, who must be John Taylor's stepbrother, because he had over
What the most consistent angler?
He had over 200 bits.
Oh, right.
He knew how many he had for £7.8. Second one, peg 2, was Jason Smith with £6.6, and third, peg 3, was Neil Williams, £5.10. This wraps up the league this year for Dave Ashmore, who now has an unassailable lead at the top. The only one thing left is to see if he can complete his perfect score in 2 weeks' time. So I think, because Derek sent me a similar message as well, Dave's winning the league and he can bin his worst result.
Yeah, an FB, whatever.
And I think, he's already won it. So
well done, Dave.
well done, Dave. I like
Awesome.
that. That's really cool. These guys just keep going and they keep sending me the match results. So thank you for doing that. Right. But that's my only contribution.
Yeah. Yeah. So the usual ones then. So we'll start with the Tuesday boys. They were at the Bower last week. For those that don't know the Bower, it is basically the old Neen. Stanground backwater runs through King's Dyke and then comes into Whittlesea at the back of the Manor Leisure Centre, and it comes to a lock, which is Ashvine Lock. The section they fish is above the lock, back towards the bungalows, and they've been fishing it quite a lot lately, and it's this nice little stretch. Roach, rudd, skimmers, perch, the usual stuff. And in the summer, there is an odd chub come out now as well, but in the summer it's full of great big chub.
You keep saying this.
They are.
I need to have a go and have a look.
Do. They're massive, and very rarely do they come out. But the match weights, like I say, very rarely do you get them. I mean, the winner with £16.8, all I know is Neil, because Windmill Steve doesn't know his surname either. So well done, Neil, whatever your surname is. £16.8, which was mostly on the punch. Runner up was Mel Saggers on the next peg with £16.3. And then Bob Cheesy Tench Fitzjohn, £16 dead.
I didn't see him this week to get my eggs.
No,
I missed it.
oh, never mind.
Yeah.
He had £16 as well, so decent weights considering the weather. Good little stretch. That's owned by Yaxley and District, which I do believe is a day ticket as well. They control Raveley and a few other venues, so it might be worth buying a book if you're looking for some decent stretches. Moving on to the Whittlesea Angling Club. They were beggars. I think they was hoping for a good match because last time they was on there, they had some good weights. And, it didn't go to plan. I think it was absolutely tanking through. Derek York came out on top with £1.7. Mr. Second himself, Mark Barron, match organiser, £1.3.5. And then Arthur Smallman, 15 ounce. And then the rest really struggled. So I don't know what's happened there. I think this week they're on Cock Bank, so that'll be interesting how they get on.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Probably the same.
Yeah. Grim reading, isn't it? But so that's the Whittlesea Club. And then Ramsey. So Wednesday they have their usual Ramsey St Mary's match.
Where else?
12. Well, obviously.
Yeah.
12 of them. This week Mark Williams drew the right end peg instead of drawing the highest number every week. He's drawn peg 1, 11.15. Second was Multi with £9.9, and then Dave Steele £6.1. But I do believe he was sat in between first and second, so that's a chip shop there.
Chip shop, yeah.
And then Sunday, Richard Scratcher, the caster master, he had £21.12 from peg 1.
Nice.
Nice day.
Yeah.
Runner-up was Ivan Benjamin Button Steels, £14 dead. And then Duncan Folks, £13.5. So, well done, Malk. I think this week they're on the same venues again.
Oh, you've got to go to the same venue, those weights.
Yeah, for a change.
Yeah, but it's no point messing about.
No, there's plenty of pike there as well. Plenty of pike. And then we've just got the Marksman District AA Open match.
Oh, yes. So there was an Open, wasn't there?
There was, yeah. So there was, I think there was 100 booked in, but 90 turned up.
Did you fish it?
Yeah.
You did, yeah. You turned up, did you?
Yeah, I turned up. And
did you have your pinky and squat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pinky and squat sorted.
Big red maggot?
Big red maggot, you name it, I had it. So it was a little bit disappointing. There's quite a few no-shows because I know there's, a lot of anglers wanting to fish these matches.
I saw a post and it was 118.
Yeah.
And he mentioned it as well. So obviously, was it the weather that put people off?
I don't know. What I think it is it's hard for Bob because someone from a team rings up and says, I need 5 tickets or whatever. And so he puts 5 down. But then in the meantime, I reckon maybe certain people ring up and say, oh, blah, 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 but they've already been included in the 5 tickets.
Oh, yeah.
And as it's happening now, is poor old Bob's only got 110 pegs and there's 180 people want to fish.
He kind of needs everyone to pay online beforehand, doesn't he?
Well, it's not that. I think the problem is people coming and going and things happen and stuff like that. So poor old Bob's trying to get as many people on the matches as he can.
Yeah.
And not everyone can fish every week.
It's a thankless task.
It is. And then people are, I can't get in, I can't get in. But it's literally, as soon as the match finishes, it's sold out instantly.
Yeah.
But what they've done to compensate that, there is open matches run at Benwick on the same day as the March Opens for teams coming down and practice. So, you can get down and fish. But, there's only, once it's sold out, and there's only 110 pegs. So, and that's with putting every single hole
Every
in.
nook and cranny. Yeah.
All in all, the match fish a bit harder this week, which always happens in January. Always the weights drop massively. Fish get hammered, which they are. They're getting a lot of pressure.
And the cream rises to the top.
Usually, yeah. And
he's trying not to smile. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Look at him. Keep it straight face.
Trying to, yeah. So the hot favoured pegs didn't produce as well as what we thought they would.
Was the culvert in?
Yes, the culvert was in. All the usual bungholes were in.
Chave's concrete?
Yes, that was in. The one above it wasn't drawn. Obviously, no, someone didn't turn up, so there's a good peg wasted there.
Because Chave and his missus, they must have had 50, 60 pound between them.
I don't think they had that much.
But they were decent sized fish, weren't
they
they?
had a good day, yeah. They had a nice day. I think they enjoyed it. So, yeah, it was a bit up and down. The low numbers fish pretty patchy, to be honest. I think £6 and £3 won the 5 peg sections. I think when they got there was a few cormorants.
Oh.
Yeah, there's also been a few otters and things seen right in the town as well. So,
That's there?
Yeah. Which ain't good, but it's part of nature now. It's frustrating.
Yeah.
They're only ever going to turn up here where all the fish are, aren't they?
Yeah.
They can only sit on the 20th for so long.
Yeah.
There'd be carcasses.
Being bulimic.
Yeah. So fished a bit patchy. The bypass was in. They put 10 pegs above the bypass. That was not brilliant, but they had to wait for bites, a bit like we did the other week. Weights were nowhere near as good, but there was a few roach. Seems to be a few fish in the middle, and then they sort of push out for whatever reason. Normally they're in the marina and they go that way. Very odd how it's working like that. But a lot of this, I think, is predation from cormorants.
I think you're right, mate. Yeah,
100%.
Right, yeah.
So 6 overall from sort of, sure he was, where was that chap was 6? Tom Pot. I think he was behind the swimming pool somewhere there, I think. Don't quote me on that one. He had £26. Then there was an equal fourth, which was Tony Marshall and John Taylor.
John Taylor lives down there.
Yeah,
he's got my
to
Wi-Fi
be fair, he
code.
had to walk a bit further than normal. He weren't going to go to his peg. You know what John's like. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't
it's too
know.
far.
So anyway, he had I drew near him.
Do you know what he does? He uses my Wi-Fi code that he got from Bob Nudd.
Yeah.
Did I tell you I found Nuddy in my front room in October? What the heck? 1 o'clock in the morning, Bob, what are you doing? Just looking for your Wi-Fi code. I went, mate, you just had to ask.
Yeah,
Couldn't believe it. Yeah. Kicked him out, obviously. He's giving it to John Taylor. Now, John Taylor sits down there. He uses his phone, app, Domino's, takeaway.
Yeah.
He's like...
He don't use the calculator, though, does he?
Wait, doesn't need to, mate, does he? He's got one of your fish counts.
So I tell you what, John must have had the best last hour. That's all I'm going to say. Because with an hour and a half to go, he had 99 fish, and at the end he had 198. That's all I'm going to say. Someone might have been telling a few porkies.
We should take him to Las Vegas. Card counting. Is that good? You must be.
Yeah. There's Matrix do some nice clickers, John. You might want to.
What's that film called? Rain Man.
I've not seen that. Yeah. So they sat next to each other, exactly the same way, sat next to each other, 26-14. Then Steve Harwood had 27 dead, and then there was a 28-6, and they were both next to each other below Wigston's Bridge, hemp boat and the one above it. All roach, lovely day's fishing, which normally £26 was like the lowest section winning weight.
How come the culvert didn't produce?
It just didn't. All the weights were a little bit lower all the way through. Like we say, angling pressure, cold. Yeah. You know, every up and down the country.
That was hooning.
The fish are probably knackered. You know, they've been battling against the flow for so long. They're just thinking. So that was the top 5, and then the winner was a chap called Shake of Piddly or something. I don't know if you know him. No. All right. Yeah. Apparently,
I wasn't expecting you to say that.
A real good-looking chap. Apparently.
You know the picture's going in.
Yeah. Well, no.
Oh, Alex, brilliant.
Yeah.
Well
So he must have bought a good peg for once, I think.
But you didn't. You didn't. You had £35, didn't you?
I did. I had £35.12. I had a lovely day's fishing. I drew what we call the style peg, for those that people know it. It's the first one in the allotments. There's
there's no way on God's earth that should win a March Open.
Well, I had a bit of room below me. I had an empty peg below me.
Yeah, you think of all the other flies that are
Yeah, but I think that's due to the fact that them pegs are fished all the time.
Yeah, it could be.
So
and also,
that haven't been pressured as much.
Do you think there's quite a protected area? All the trees?
Is. I like to look at match results from previous years, different times, and the hayjack's normally about this time, and that little area there in them trees, for whatever reason, whether it's because it's shady or probably less wind on there, it narrows up a little bit, so it sort of increases the flow.
Are you 1 or 2 downstream from the culvert?
I was sat on the culvert.
That's a really... Oh.
I was sat right up there.
So you got the culvert to your left?
Oh, no, sorry. So you got the culvert is to my left, free to my left. I'm sat right on the slacker thing on the allotment style.
As the starter.
So the path is right behind you.
Yeah.
So you're shipping back through the green.
Casting baits around there is really difficult.
Yeah, I can imagine that's a prime peg for you, Zander angle.
Well, you can't get the angles.
Really?
Because you've got trees.
Yeah, tell me about the trees, yeah. There's 2 or 3 rigs up there from me trying to swing fishing. and when you're so high up anyway, you can imagine this.
Mate, there's 2 or 3 boats with ropes that have got some very nice FFS lures on. I've been hitting recently as well. When me and Tom Moore went out New Year's Day, I went, Tom, look at that boat. He goes, I said, look, that's one of your lures off there.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
How embarrassing.
It is a parrot cage in a lot of them.
It is, yeah.
Extremely comfortable. One of 5, 6 pegs where you don't actually have to get in the water, or I wouldn't choose to get in the water.
Is it
really awkward? It was perfect for the whip because you just literally like dropping it down. You can control it nice, but literally 4 fish come off straight in the tree, and it's just one of them. You fish 4.5 straight down or whatever, or 4 meters, and
there's nothing you can do.
It was nice, but it weren't the right presentation on that anyway. You
bit like my swan attack.
Yeah,
you can do.
Yeah, but
so
did you
think you'd done any good with 30?
I told John Taylor I got £20, but I knew I'd got more than that because he was lying to me earlier. So what goes around comes around. And I thought I'd got close to £30, but they weighed a bit more. So that was good. And I thought, well, there was a few people about, obviously, where I am sat there was a lot of people behind me all day, every 5 minutes. Hello, Alex. Hello, Alex. Hello, Alex. Luckily, it weren't too bright. Otherwise, there would have been, where they stand, there's like a gap in the tree.
Yeah.
And if your son's on the back there, and if they stand there, it's like, even when the sun come out, I was skylining myself, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So luckily it was overcast and there weren't too many people about, but yeah.
I've got to say one thing on this, right? Me and Tom Moy went out New Year's Day, and we had a lovely day. We saw so many lure anglers.
Yeah.
And the social was a good crack. We even had a pint at the pub.
Yeah.
But because we were fishing socially, and it didn't matter.
Yeah.
It was great. But this is where people don't get it. When there's a match on, the match anglers want to get their heads down.
Yeah.
Even though it's lovely to say hello to everybody, the average person needs to realise it's like stopping a footballer in the middle of a football game and kicking the ball away at the same time, isn't it? And actually taking the ball with you.
Yeah, it's hard.
It doesn't help. And I think people should time it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, or you know...
Or the beginning, like an hour before it starts.
Stand back behind trees. I know it looks like you're being sneaky and people always think, what's that?
Some consideration.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all right pleasure fishing, but when you're in a match and, you know, little things... I think Tackle Guru did a podcast with Hadrian Whittle and they talked about it in depth. And you know, you prepare all week and draw the peg and then all of a sudden, you know, ounces make big differences, don't they? Yeah. And, you know, every time someone might be stood behind you, the fish go a bit unsettled and you miss bites. And 100% people think you just like making excuses, but it definitely happens.
If you think you catch a few, they back off anyway. And also, they're there because predation, cormorants. The cormorants cast shadows on the water.
Yeah.
So if you've got any people moving, that shadow's still being cast.
Yeah.
On these big resis, you wouldn't believe what the fish do because of the shadow of the boats.
Yeah.
And
people say, oh, well, there's people walking the dogs all day every day, which they are, but they don't stop. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't stop. And it's the same for everyone. You know, pretty much everyone yesterday was considerate and stuff like that, but I didn't. If I come across that I'm a bit not rude but not very talkative, it's because I'm concentrating and
you've got to.
I'm sort of. I know that you're going to affect my fishing.
You don't want to keep people there. You want to keep them away.
Yeah. So it's hard. It is hard.
You'd have to wear buy some different.
But what I do is, because John Taylor's such a superstar, the most consistent angler in the fens, what I do is I just say, John Taylor's down there. He had £10 in the first hour. Why don't you go and see him?
Good tactics.
All right. Oh, they're gone. Clonk,
And
clonk,
can he take this T-shirt? Because he's got another T-shirt in.
Just go and skyline, John. So, so I had a nice day's fishing, £35, 12.
And won another March Open.
Yeah.
That's good, mate. You well deserved. You're one of the best anglers on the venue by country mile.
Biggest draw bag, apparently.
Well, that wasn't a draw. That wasn't a winning peg.
Well, no, but when you got a bit of room and it's a very good peg in that area, it doesn't. I've not known it to win any March Open, like big March Opens, but it's a good peg. You know, I weren't disappointed, put it that way.
Yeah, but okay, there were obviously a lot of fish there, but what would you do on the culvert in places like that? You don't know. Behind the
fishing,
bandstand.
it's always
isn't it? Yeah. But anyway, well done, mate. Well deserved.
Thank
really
you.
good. Really good. So what's the next one on there?
On March.
Is it Hayjack next week or?
So we've got Hayjack this Sunday.
Is that practice or?
No, it's the actual round. The first round was cancelled due to the rain we had. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Talk of extreme ice this week. But we should be all right. It's warming up, isn't it? Saturday's.
Yeah, it's getting absolutely tropical.
Yeah, 12 degrees apparently. Someone said. Bit of wind.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I was being sarcastic.
No, it's like 2 degrees and -4, -6 every night, and then Saturday it goes up during the night like 12 degrees and wind.
Oh, that's when you want to go.
Well, that's what they're saying. Yeah. Don't quote me on that one. I'm no weatherman. But so there's first round of that. I think it'll be March and Benwick. I'm not sure if they're moving any venues. Obviously, Benwick's been a bit tricky to say the least in certain areas. The fish have just gone. Vroom. So whether they have one section there, two sections there, three sections there, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Cool. I suppose it just brings us round to the awards.
The chip shopping,
Yes.
yeah. So, obviously there was a few re-offenders this week.
Oh.
Yeah, Tony Watling.
I was going to say, there's a spud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tony Watling that
A Udite.
that his mate Mark Silman was, not telling everyone much. So yeah, Watling got chip shopped again. Scott Dudson got chip shop again, so he's been down twice now and got chip shop. But getting the award this week is our very own Simon Mottram.
Well deserved.
Yes, he even had a £1.5 rud and still got chip shop.
No way.
Yep. The £1.5 rud. So yeah, next time I see you, Simon, you'll be getting the T-shirt.
We've got a lack of pictures, actually. I haven't put a picture up for ages.
No.
We need to get some.
Yeah, we do, don't we?
Talking of pictures or other things, you guys just keep eyes peeled.
Yeah.
Next few weeks,
Yeah.
I'll bide my time, but I will get my revenge. I'm not going to go into gladiator mode, but you know what I'm saying. Right.
That's it, I think.
Yeah, we've done well. I think we've got.
We've talked rubbish for.
We've talked bollocks.
Bloke was right, wasn't he?
Charmless, yeah.
Charmless.
I know what the second be hanging around schools, but no, definitely charmless. No, mate, that was really good. Like I said, congratulations again on the win. And I suppose it just leaves us to say, everyone have a good weekend's fishing.
Yeah.
Get out
Keep
there.
warm.
Keep warm. Tackle and baits, stock, all this wonderful
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, give Alex a bell. He'll sort you out.
Yeah.
And, enjoy it. That's the main thing, isn't it?
Yep.
Right, we'll bring this to a close. See you all next week.
See you next week.